That Man and His Manga.
Hello and welcome to That Man. This is a manga related thing. That's right, it's once again time to do the manga haul, and this is part 1 of 976 manga hauls that will be coming at you over the next few days. Only joking. Yeah. So, manga haul time. This is actually a pretty huge manga haul. I've actually bought around 35 volumes, including some light novels, and yeah, all killer, no filler. There is no box sets among this. First up, we will look at something absolutely non-toxic, and that's... I feel a little bit embarrassed now. Oh, and they said manga hauls weren't toxic, and here I am with Smurfs Go Pop. First up, we have the almighty Silver Spoon, a series that every single time it gets released, I see it. This is absolutely fantastic, and once again, I will say, well, actually, I'm about halfway through it. Yes, I'm not going to be that person who goes, well, I've not read it. That comes for other stuff later on in the haul. But yeah, Silver Spoon Volume 15 is actually the last volume, and it is so good. It is really good. If you want to have about a man who is trying to work his way up in life, he's getting a bit of a midlife crisis, even though he was only in college. Well, he wasn't even in college, he was in high school. The confusion of Japanese schools. But yeah, Silver Spoon is all about farming. That's right, getting down and dirty on the farm. That's not that kind of thing. It's really good. It's about agriculture. There's a lot of hard-hitting scenarios, and personally, I actually like this a lot more than her other series, Full Metal Alchemist. I don't know, I felt this was consistently better than Full Metal Alchemist on a whole. Not to say Full Metal Alchemist is a bad series, I just found this one a lot better, and I'm really sad that this is going to be the last time I'm going to be able to have this as a haul. But I'm really looking forward to finishing it off. Next up is Volume 2 of One Piece Ace's story, the light novel spin-off to One Piece, where it follows Ace. And this one looks to be more about Blackbeard pirates. I've actually got my bookmark in here because I'm just about to start it. It's actually my next thing to read because, yeah, it's an easy enough read. The first one only took me a few hours to read. I read it in a day and I was just like, you know what? This is on my shelf, so with the One Piece stuff, so I was like, if I don't read it, I'll probably forget about it. Yeah, the first one, it was okay. It wasn't anything special. I really do not like Ace as a character. I feel like he's really bland, and he kind of, yeah, he only really serves one purpose, to further the story. But I'm going to give this another try. There's only 2 volumes to it, and I thought if I buy this, this will support some of the other light novels coming in the future, like the Nico Robin and the Nami one and the Vivi one now. So hopefully it is at least something worth checking out. I'll probably do a review on this once it's done. Next up is a new series that I have never picked up before, and it's one that's been getting a lot of attention recently, and one that I do want to cover in an upcoming review, and that is Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time. That's right, it's a spin-off to Harry Potter. But yeah, Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time. Oh no, I've done it again. Yeah, this is certainly a series. What can I say about this one? This is about a guy who wins a powerful tournament because the most powerful man or he's the strongest man in town, and everybody, all the monster girls want to have sex with him. And as a person who absolutely adores Monster Girl series, this series did very little for me. I don't know, I just kind of felt, I wasn't sure, like, I liked some of the jokes about it. It was like some of the jokes made me laugh. Like, it was just like, oh, well, use your man yogurt, and I was just like, yeah, that's stupid, but that's about it. I never really kind of felt like this was anything fantastic. Maybe it gets really good later on, because I know a lot of people are hyping it up at the moment, but Volume 1 didn't really impress me enough that I was like, oh, I desperately need to pick up Volume 2 onwards, which is a shame. Yeah, I'm going to do a full review on this one in a few days' time, so check that one out. Next up is a brand new spin-off in the Connoisseur line, and that is Connoisseur Bonus Story, We Are the Megumin Bandits. Takes place after Volume 8, where Megumin is inspired by a cool masked thief, which if you read Volume 8, you know exactly who that person is. And she decides to form her own bandit team, and yeah, that's about as much as I know from the synopsis. It's more Connoisseur, but of course I was going to read it. I mean, I'm not stupid. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one, and I'll let you know how it is, because I'll probably do a review on it. Next up, well, I actually did a little bit of a mistake. So one of the things I've been pretty proud with over my time is that I've never bought any duplicates on purpose. Well, this finally happened with Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Elmer's Office Lady Diary, Volume 2. So there's a reason I've kept this, and that's just a little bit of a reminder because I haven't actually had time to go to the library. I've got stuff stacked up to go to the library, but I've not had time to actually go up and donate it. So yeah, Volume 3 came out, and I noticed Volume 2, so I was like, oh, I've already read Volume 1, and then I bought it, and then I got about halfway through, and I was just like, I've read this. And then I went and checked again, and I was just like, yeah, I've read it. Oh well. So yeah, make sure you keep an eye on what you own. Otherwise, you will buy Elmer's Office Lady Diary Volume 2 twice. Next up, we have Volume 6 of Do You Love Your Mom and Her Two-Hit Multi-Target Attacks. Now, this is the series that I always feel gets it gets a bum deal, because at the end of the day, it's such a silly premise, and as you can expect, it's an ecchi title. But every time I read a volume of this, it always seems to have some really serious moments, and there's a lot of really good things in this series that I think is really positive. This is interesting, this one, because it's actually a short story anthology. There is a running theme of them trying to get people married, and yeah, there's a few other short stories which, as you can imagine, they pretty much just exist to probably sell merchandise. But yeah, I really love this series. I'm not gonna lie, I really like it. It's one of those series I just kind of like, yeah, not everyone's gonna like it, but it's worth your time if you like light novels, I would say. Next up is another light novel of a particular series, and that series is Interspecies Reviewers Ecstasy Days. Now, I did a full-on review on this a few days ago, so you can check that out on the channel. I'm not going to really get too much into it, but if you like Interspecies Reviewers and you want something a little bit more porny than that, definitely check this one out, because yeah, it definitely goes very much. I don't really want to open it because I think that we might get this video banned by YouTube. But yeah, I've got a full video on it, so if you want more info on that one, go check out that video. It's on the channel. Next up is a series that I thought was absolutely fantastic with Volume 1, and Volume 2 did not disappoint, and that is My Dress Up Darling. This is the cosplay ecchi manga, and yeah, Volume 2 again was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed my time with it. It felt very short as well. I'm just trying to see if we can get some good... as you can imagine, the artwork feels very shoujo-ish, but this is actually a seinen. Not that it really matters for demographics, but yeah, it's one that I was really surprised at how good it was. I wasn't expecting much from it, but it's a cosplay manga. It's about a young man who befriends a popular girl who he can make costume for dolls, and she was just like, make me a costume, and he does do that, and yeah, we're going from there. He's just made the costume and she's went to a convention, which is all hunky-dory. Really excited to pick up Volume 3. This is probably going to be one of my picks for Best of 2020 as well. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. Maybe I'll do a Best of 2020, who knows? I know. Next up we have a few of the same series, and the reason being is because of all of this lockdown, my local shop does 3 for 2 on all Viz manga. So the first volume released when lockdown was starting, and by the time we actually got back to the shops, they'd actually released 3 volumes, so I got the 3 for 2. And then a few days after that, the newest volume dropped, and that series is Golden Kamui. This series is absolutely fantastic. Honestly, this is easily one of my favourite seinen series at the moment. In fact, it's probably one of my favourite seinen series of all time. It's just, I got into this early, and it was just so nice to see everybody else getting really excited over it. It's, if you like treasure, if you like adventure, if you like cocoon, if you like barramen beating each other up, Golden Kamui is going to have something for you. It's part hunting, part adventure, part treasure hunting, because they're having to skin people to get the treasure map. There's a bit of everything for everyone in here, and I would really recommend it if you want to get into seinen and you don't trust the creator of Berserk to finish off Berserk. But honestly, I'm so happy I managed to catch up on these, because the volumes that these cover, the stuff that's in here is so good. Really, really good stuff. This actually, I think it covers and picks up from where Series 2 ended. So if you are up to date on the anime, which is a new season next month, yay! Yeah, this is going to give you a lot more context. I think this is maybe volume 18 or 19 is going to probably cover you for season 3. Depends on how much they skip, because they skipped a lot to get to where they were in season 2, annoyingly. Next up is a series that I have loved for quite some time. I got into it again when it ran in the Jumpstart, and yeah, it's a bit of a controversial one, and that is Dr. Stone. I got volumes 10, 11, 12 and 13. Honestly, Dr. Stone, actually Dr. Stone at the moment, I'm not gonna lie, I actually like week on week more than One Piece. So yeah, that goes to show how good Dr. Stone is. There is a few people who don't like Dr. Stone, but yeah, they're just inadequate. But yeah, Dr. Stone is a science manga, and this volume ends the Stone Wars, and this goes into the Island War. And yeah, honestly, the stuff that's coming out in it is just so good. I would really recommend staying with it if you have the opportunity, or if you don't want to buy it, check it out on the Shonen Jump app. This is actually the only Shonen Jump series that I actually buy. I don't know, I started collecting it early on, and I was just like, yeah, I'm going to keep with this. And just because I just don't see much point in buying many series if they're on the Shonen Jump app. There's a lie here. Can you guess what it is? Yes, that's right, because I actually do buy something else that's on the Shonen Jump app. Not a Shonen Jump series per se. This is in Jump Plus, I believe, along with what's that sort of series called? World's End Harem. That's right. This runs alongside World's End Harem in the same magazine, and that's Spy Family Volume 2. Now, I covered Spy Family late last year. I said it was my second favourite series of last year. In fact, I'm probably going to say it's my best series this year. It is absolutely fantastic, and I feel like just about everybody who covers manga has been hyping this one up, so I'm not really going to get too into it. But yeah, it's an absolute fantastic series. It's got a lot of really good moments in, and Anya is the precious small child that we all need to protect. Unless she punches you in the face. Next up is High Score Girl Volume 3. I couldn't remember if I covered this in my last manga haul, so I actually had to do a video. I've actually had this for quite some time. As you can probably remember, my last manga haul was done at the beginning of August, so this is probably so big because it's a 2-month haul, but I don't really care. But yeah, High Score Girl, it brings us back to the glory days of arcades. I did do another review on this one not so long ago, and my opinion hasn't changed. I'm really excited to pick up more of this. Again, it's not something I'm seeing many people picking up, which is quite surprising. this is a really good one, especially if you are into arcade games. If you like gaming on a whole, you're probably going to have a lot of good times with this one, especially if you like fighting games, which I'm not huge on fighting games. The only fighting game I can really play is Super Smash Bros. But yeah, if you like Street Fighter, if you like King of Fighters, all of that stuff, you're going to have a lot of good time with High Score Girl. Really would recommend this one as a little bit of a hidden gem, even though I've got an anime. Next up, we are once again finishing another series, and that is the absolutely fantastic Toradora. So, Toradora, Toradora, this is the last time I get to sing this song, Wizardora. Yes, I forgot, this is the Wizardora song. But yeah, Toradora Volume 10 finally finishes off this series. I love this series so much that I am planning something pretty huge for it. Keeps getting delayed because I keep coming up with other ideas for stuff I want to do in the meantime. But Toradora, I don't want to get too much into it because I feel like it's one of those classic series that everybody knows and everybody should have seen by now, or at least read or whatever. But I would really recommend it. I really like this series about two young people in love, but they're too awkward to admit it. I should maybe say. That's your elevator pitch. Not a great one, but yeah, I would recommend it. There's a reason why this classic has stuck around for quite some time. Next up is Volume 5 of Plus Sized Elf. Again, another series that I really like. Can we get in here? There we go. That's as much as you're getting. I was about to open, I was like, yeah, this is actually pretty much ecchi. Really underrated series. Again, I don't hear many people talking about it. I did cover this more recently in my ecchi recommendation series, so I would really recommend it if you want a good ecchi, if you want a good Monster Girl series that will also give you some tips on working out in the home. So yeah, you can probably get a few good ideas from here. There's a nice yoga bit on there which reminded me of Ring Fit Adventure, which I did buy at some point. But yeah, I would really recommend Plus Sized Elf if you want a kind of ecchi workout series other than the other one. You know, how heavy are the dumbbells that you lift. Really recommend this one. Underrated series, again, well worth checking out if you want a good ecchi title. Next up we have Volume 9 of Yoona and the Haunted Hot Springs. Spooky. A series that I bought Volume 9 on and Volume 10 released, and then Amazon and Book Depository delisted it. So I can't get Volume 10. So yeah, I'm kind of mixed on this one. I like the series, but I feel like I'm kind of at a point where I need to decide whether or not I need to either just drop it, buy it digitally, or just continue buying it. I like it enough that I've been buying them, but I don't know. This sometimes it can be really good, and sometimes it can be really creative in how it goes about things. There's some really stupid ecchi moments in here, but then other times I'm just really bored by it. So I'm kind of mixed in the point where it's like, do I just keep buying it or do I drop it? Because if it's going to be difficult to buy, I'm gonna have to consider just dropping it. But then I've got Volume 9 and there's like 22 volumes, so I'm like, I think I'm gonna kind of just buy it digitally moving onwards, and maybe just replace my physical ones with digital ones and give or donate this bulk to the library. I'm a bit unsure, but again, it's a fine enough series if you desperately want another ecchi. But there's a lot better ecchi out there. I will be doing a full review on Yoona and the Haunted Hot Springs in the next few weeks, so go check that out when it's up and available. Now we are coming into light novel territory. This time we have Volume 9 of So I'm a Spider, So What? And I haven't read this one. This one was one where it didn't stealth drop, it got delayed. And then I had it on order, then Book Depository turned around and said, oh, we can't source it, so we're giving you a refund. And then 2 days later they went and had it in stock, so I had to reorder it. I love this series so much. This is one of my favourite isekai at the moment, and I'm really excited for people to start checking out the anime when it drops in, I don't know if it's next season or maybe the season afterwards. But yeah, it's a really fantastic isekai series. I can't really see much about it at the moment. There's a girl, she gets turned into a spider and things happen and she becomes overpowered, just like in all of the isekai. But yeah, I did do a video on this one again. It's on the channel. A lot of people really liked it. In fact, it's actually started taking off. I think it's because it's one of them ones where people are just like, oh, I want to check out light novels and blah blah blah. So yeah, go check this one out. I really recommend it. It's one of the better isekai out there at the moment. Next up, we have Volume 3 and Volume 4 of bottom tier character Tomoezaki. And I've not read these two. I really enjoyed Volume 1 and Volume 2 at the beginning of the year. And I actually put this as one of my top 10 favourite light novel series. But I haven't had a chance to read 3 and 4. I kind of feel like I'm going to binge them both together, and I'm just trying to get rid of a few of the other series that I'm kind of like, I'm a little bit bogged down with at the moment. This month has been really hectic in terms of new releases, so I'm just kind of picking them up, reading them, and then going to go back and binge a series like this all in one group. But yeah, I would really recommend if you want a high school light novel series. There's actually another one on this list which is another fantastic one. Oh no, it fell down. Next up we have the almighty Interspecies Reviewers, Volume 4. I've not had a chance to read this one yet, sadly. It's just been on my shelf for a while, so I've been getting new stuff and I've been like, oh well, I need to read the new stuff. I'll probably read this next after I finish off Silver Spoon, because I'm actually pretty much caught up on all of my manga backlog, which is quite surprising. Except for Gundam. Do not mention the Gundam that I backlogged on. But Interspecies Reviews, you already know what it's about. Some guys, monster girls, going to brothels, blah 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 blah. You know what will happen with this one. Again, I've done videos on this series in the past. I'm actually doing another one in the future once I read this and kind of having a bit of an update, because everyone seems to love it whenever I cover Interspecies Reviewers, to the point that I'm kind of like, I can't really say much about Interspecies Reviewers that I've not said before. I'll think about it. Next up is another one that I picked up, and that is the Saga of Tanya the Evil, Volume 7. Again, another fantastic series, but yeah, this series intimidates me every time a new one comes out. It is certainly something that you've got to dedicate some time into reading, and I'm really looking forward to reading Volume 7. I was really excited for it to come out, and then it came out and I was just kind of like, yeah, I've got loads of stuff to read now. I can't dedicate time, but I think I'm going to try and read it very shortly while I've got the time to read stuff. Once I go back to not having time to read stuff, I think that's going to be when I'm going to be like, oh, I can't be bothered. But it's not that it's bad, it's just that it's so long-winded. It's just really something you've got to sit down and dedicate yourself to. Absolutely fantastic series, and I'm really happy to see a lot of people hyping this one up. I've covered this a few times in particular videos. I did one dedicated to Tanya the Evil itself, and then I most recently did my favourite 10 light novels video, and a lot of people were really excited that I was seeing that, happy to see that I was actually covering it. So I would say, yeah, I am there talking about Tanya the Evil. So yeah, if you like it, you're okay with me. If you don't like it, I don't care. Next up we have the most darkest of all of the seinen, and that is Laid Back Camp. Hang on, it doesn't even rain in this. Yes, Laid Back Camp, the seinen that was so comfy while doing so. It's just cute girls going camping. Honestly, out of all of the series that I'm collecting, this is easily one of my favourite at the moment. It's just so relaxing, and if you had a tiring day, it's just nice to be able to come back and relax with some relaxing manga, not necessarily decapitating people or whatever in some other series that I've been reading, Tanya. But yeah, Laid Back Camp, I can never recommend this one enough. It's always one that has been nice and relaxing to read. I think even if I stopped collecting a lot of other series, I would really continue with Laid Back Camp. I'm so excited for season 2 because that's out shortly. I think it's out next year, maybe. But yeah, Laid Back Camp. So excited to read more of this. I'll see some more once volume 10 drops. But it's always been a fantastic mainstay in my collection. Next up is, well, this is an interesting one because I ordered Ascendance of a Bookworm Volume 1 and they sent me Volume 2 by accident. I was just like, I might as well just keep it now, and then I've got Volume 1 and Volume 2. This is a really good isekai about a young girl who is killed by books. She loves reading books, and she all of a sudden the bookcase falls on her and kills her. I can see that happening with a few people who like manga. Oh no, I got died by manga. Berserk came and fell off the shelf and hit me in the head. It was one of those big omnibus editions, and I died and I was reborn in another world where there is no manga, so I've got to create manga. That's basically the point of this one. She's reborn as a very poor, sickly child and has to try and, well, her goal is to get books. So she's trying to create books, and honestly I really like this. Is my first G-Novel Club physical one, and honestly these feel really nice compared to say some of the other Yen Press or Seven Seas light novels. But I'm looking forward to rereading. I'm going to try and pick up Volume 1 when it goes back in stock, and I'm going to reread it because I did fall off the bandwagon for this one a little bit. I was really enjoying it, but then I kind of dropped it for a little bit because, well, it was one of those ones I read when I was on breaks at work, and then I got work from home, so I had other light novels just at my disposal to read, so it kind of fell off. So I'm going to try and catch up. I might catch up physically because it's one that I really do enjoy reading. Next up is, well, this was a little bit of a strange release for me because I got some really good news, and I was just like, well, I haven't treated myself to any manga, and I was like, I've seen this one a few times and I really like the anime, and that was GIGA no Gitaro. And I was just like, it's a classic series, I want to check it out, and I bought it and I read about halfway through it and then I just kind of stopped. That was because I went on holiday and I never went back to it. The reason being is because it's something that's not so easy to get into. I find a lot of these classic ones, you've got to be in the right mindset to want to read a classic manga, and this one kind of jumps all over the place. It has the birth of Kitaro, so we get the backstory, but then it kind of just jumps all over, and I'm kind of like, who is this person? Why do they know him? I don't know what's going on. So yeah, that kind of put me off a little bit, but it was still a really good, fantastic read that I'm looking forward to going back to. Maybe I'll pick up the other Kitaro ones. Next up we have another one which took me by surprise, and that is Quintessential Quintuplets Volume 10. Now I did just read Volume 9 and I was expecting Volume 10 to be a few months later, but nope, it came out rather quickly. In fact, I was looking around and I noticed it had been out for a few weeks by the time I'd ordered it. So yeah, Quintessential Quintuplets it's probably one of the best harem series I've read in a long time. It's certainly very unique in terms of things. I say unique. There's also that We Never Learn, which is also pretty decent. But yeah, it's one that I would really recommend checking out. There's a lot of buzz around it, and there's certainly a buzz for that reason. Who will be the best girl? Who will be the one who gets married? We will find out in volume next time. Next up is another series that I covered early on this year, which I really liked. So I waited for Volume 2, and it took me a while to find Volume 2 until I realised that they just renamed the entire thing. So this is Rascal Does Not Dream of Petite Devil Kohai. And I read this straight away, and honestly I loved it. I'm still working on the video on it. I've recorded about 4 or 5 times, but I'm just never happy with it. This continues on from Volume 1. In which there's like this weird adolescent syndrome which is causing mysterious things to happen. This one causes Groundhog Day. That's right. So yeah, if you are wanting more Buddy Girl Senpai, you pretty much gonna have to pick up this one because this is Volume 2. It's just called Rascal Does Not Dream, unlike Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, like the anime let us know. Next up is another series that I was given to review, and this is Rebirth of the Undead King. Now, this was an absolute fantastic title. I really enjoyed it. It's an original English light novel, which basically means it's a book. I just don't understand the difference between a light novel, a novel, and an original English light novel. I just kind of, in my opinion, an English light novel is just a novel. A light novel is a book that is light, and use them to just differentiate weeb books, I suppose. But yeah, this one's pretty dark, about a young man who gets the powers of a fallen god, and he's going to take revenge, and yeah, it's kind of like Faraway Paladin from what I understand by the creator, but I've not read that, so yeah, I would really recommend checking it out. I did just do a review on this. I know I'm saying that quite a lot, but it's easier to see. Go check it out if you are interested in it, because it is worth checking this one out. I would really recommend this one. Next up is, well, this was a little bit of a treat for me, because it's a series I've had my eye on for quite some time, and now I've decided to drop a few other series and potentially get rid of them. I'm going to have the space and be able to buy these. And this was Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt. Now, I really enjoyed the anime movies for this one. They're my go-to movies if I just want Gundam, but I don't want to kind of sit through all of the Universal Century or anything like that. Now, I did pick up Volume 12 as well as Volume 1. The reason being is that Volume 12 was only like £3 on Amazon, so it's kind of like, yeah, definitely, if you're collecting Gundam Thunderbolt, definitely check that out, because it's yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Gundam. I mean, I love Gundam, so I'm going to enjoy this. So, absolutely fantastic looking artwork. I believe it's the same person who did the artwork for this, who also did the Mobile Suit Gundam origin story. So, if you like them, if you like the artwork on them, you're probably going to have a good time with this. But to me, it's Gundam. Of course, I'm going to enjoy, because, as you know, I've been really into Gundam. So, next up, we have, oh, the lovely one, Overlord Volume 12. Now, I've not had a chance to read this one quite yet, but it's Overlord, and we all know that Overlord is one of the best isekai out there. I don't hear enough people talking about it, in fact. It's weird. It seems to be one of those ones where it gets really popular when the anime comes out, and then like after the anime is finished, it just kind of disappears forever. But it's yeah, again, it's like, I'm getting a few people talking about Tanya and a few other series, but Overlord always seems to be kind of like, I don't know, it feels like it's a bit of a black sheep at the moment. It's one of those series that everybody who reads it absolutely adores it, but I don't think like many people are reading it. It's about a guy who gets trapped in another world, and he's overpowered, and he's the final boss, and I don't know what happens in this one because I've not read it. Yeah. Next up we have nothing, because that was the last of my manga haul. That's right, the huge manga haul that you've probably been watching for the last, well, best part of an hour is finally complete. So my question, as always, every month, what have you been reading? Have you been reading anything that I've picked up? Is there anything that you feel I should be checking out? And I may check it out someday. Maybe. But as always, if you did like this content, remember to like, remember to consider subscribing, and I will see you next time. Thank you for coming, and thanks again for staying. See you later.